I would like to talk to you guys about the quality and structure in CELPIP speaking, which are very important things that are often ignored. Here's what happens when you haven't studied from my YouTube videos, you haven't done my 15-hour course. When people go in the exam, they use what a common expression would be or a common answer would be. For example, if I am your friend, and this is part one of speaking, right? I am your friend, and you have to suggest me how I can get a new job. And a common person who would be in a Tim Hortons or a coffee shop with a person would say, hey, go to indeed.com, kijiji.com. There are many good resumes you can, many good job offers. You can submit your resume there, and you can also find some referrals, walk into places, and do some online research. That's how the answer would be in real life. In CELPIP, you cannot give this answer at all. It doesn't matter if you don't make any English mistakes or if you use good vocabulary. Vocabulary is very important. But if you do not use the right structure and do not have the right quality, it will all fall apart. So I just did a bad example of the CELPIP speaking answer 1, where you give a suggestion to a friend. Let's now do a good answer and see how we can incorporate quality and structure in that answer and what that really means. Now, I have in front of me on my screen this question. I'm going to read it for you. It's part of one of the mock tests we have in our 15-hour course. And if you want to access that, the link for that is in the description. Now, the question says, part 1, your dad is struggling with weight gain. Advise him or her how he can develop, how he can develop some healthy eating habits to fight obesity. Pretty simple question, and very sensitive one. Now, again, with my dad, I could just go and say, hey, you got to lose weight, you're gaining so much, and blah, 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 if I just stormed in his room and said that, right? In CELPIP, the first thing you need is structure. So how many points do you do? If you have been following this channel for a while, you know that we like in part 1 and part 7 at 3 points, okay? So you have to organize that in firstly, secondly, thirdly. Those would be your connectors when you start each point. And 3 points are enough for 90 seconds. And this is where the common confusion comes. Why 3 points? It's 90 seconds. Shouldn't I speak more? The more I speak, I can give the examiner more things, I'll last longer, and it will make my answer much better, and that is where the quality mark gets deducted. You have to understand quality is more important in CELPIP than quantity. It doesn't mean you completely ignore quantity. What I mean by that is if you do 2 points versus 3, the examiner wouldn't like it too much. It's acceptable, but if you want to score a 9 or more, you need to do at least 3 points. So quantity is important too, but the quality would start becoming diminished if you do 6 or 7 points in the 90 seconds. Because if you are doing 6 to 7 points, you're saying, hey, Dad, this is how 6 to 7 points would be like. You should go to the gym, and you should also take some medicines that reduce weight. You should also watch some TV, which can help you reducing weight, some channels on exercise. This is how it is when you do lots of quantity. Now, if I just focus on quality instead, I'm going to spend 20 seconds on just 1 point. 20 seconds, 20, 20. So that's firstly, secondly, thirdly. That is my 60 seconds. And the intro and conclusion is going to be the rest of the time. And I'm not going to do intro and conclusion for 30 seconds. I'm going to try to do it for 20 seconds. So the aim is always that you finish 5 to 10 seconds before the finish time. I say 5 to 10 because you will aim for that, but you will most likely be speaking more. 90% people keep speaking. So eventually you'll end up at around 2 to 3 seconds left, but aim to finish 5 to 10 seconds before. So a quality point would be, again, that gym point, right? So let me elaborate on that. Firstly, Dad, I think you should go to the gym because right now gyms are on a great discount. Not only do you save money, but the health aspect of it is great. You get a lot of equipment there to work with, on top of personal trainers, as well as the motivation you get by having everybody around you working so diligently. You would be encouraged to be like them. Now I'm going to go to secondly, and so on. But you see, within the firstly point, how many different things I said. I talked about encouraging yourself. The people who are going to be around you, they're going to encourage you. I talked about the equipment. I talked about the fitness trainers. I talked about the cheap prices. So within 1 point, I was able to do 4 different points. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. I didn't even focus on making multiple points. I was just focusing on explaining the gym point in a wide variety of ways how I could convince my dad to understand the quality of going to the gym, how important that is. And within that came multiple points. So this confusion that people have, like I need to talk more, so I need to make 10,000 points, you will automatically be doing that if you keep structure and quality in mind. Again, structure by that meaning keep it 3 points, and for each point, elaborate that point more with proper quality. And while you're elaborating that point, you make sub-points, and that adds up to your time limit and gives you enough material to talk about. The second question, if you have tried some of these practices at home, you would know the second question is where people really struggle with time. It's because it's only 60 seconds. So I'm going to open my second question in this mock test. I'm going to read it for you guys. It says, talk about your favorite movie. You can talk about a movie you watched recently or a movie you have watched multiple times. Explain why the movie was so memorable for you. Okay. By the way, a quick tip here is just read the first sentence. Okay, talk about your favorite movie. That's it. That's all you need to know. The rest of the sentence is always, you can talk about this, you can talk about that, etc., etc. And it's very generic. I don't prefer reading the rest of it. You only have 30 seconds to prepare. So just read the first sentence of this question. You will get an idea and then move on to the answer. So talk about your favorite movie. And I think I got a bunch of them, but let's just say Titanic. And now, a person who doesn't understand quality or structure would basically go in and start talking about, I watched Titanic, it was a great movie, it had my two best actors, and the story was this, it was very romantic, and I got to see it 10 times, and so on. There's no structure here, so let's make a structure. You should only do 2 to 3 points in this 1 minute. The rest of it is going to be your intro and conclusion, and you will notice even with 2 to 3 points, the time will run out so quick. The 1 minute will run out very quick. Now, if I pick Titanic, my first point is going to be it's very emotional, so it's not boring. It's just like you get connected with the characters. Second is going to be it didn't have any vulgar language. It didn't have any, well, it did have some scenes, but let's say that it didn't have very vulgar scenes or vulgar language. I can focus on that. I could say it's a movie that everybody can watch with their friends or family. And then the third point, if I get the chance to do it, because again, sometimes with 2 points, your time will run out. The third point, if I get the chance to do it, would be that it just has the great feeling of a masterpiece because everybody knows how amazing this movie was, and it was a big blockbuster success. That's why if I watch it, I have that feeling. Now, if you notice, just by doing this point, I would have spent probably 20 seconds, and that's just 1 point. So if I do just 3 points, that's pretty much all my time, right? So I shouldn't be trying for more than 2 to 3 points. The focus should be to keep each point to explain each point with detail so that I can show quality and I don't have to do multiple points, because the more multiple points I do, the less chance I have to explain the quality. And again, if you have been following our lessons on YouTube or our courses, you would know I love, and that's why examiners also love, adjectives and adverbs. These things are considered a range of vocabulary marks. If you don't use them, you lose marks, right? So adjectives are qualities. For example, if I'm talking about the movie being a blockbuster success, it's going to be like it was a huge, amazing, adjectives, success in terms of money. It abruptly rushed to $100 million in the first weekend. Abruptly, using the ly is the adverb. Anything with lys, it's adverbs. But if you are not explaining qualities, you will never get a chance to describe the thing. And if your point is not described, you cannot use the range of vocab. So the quality affects multiple marks: range of vocabulary, the description marks, the explanation mark, the organization mark. And organization is more linked to the structure. The structure mark would be affected if you don't know before starting the question how many points you're supposed to do. So these are just examples of the first 2 questions. Now, coming to my last sentence, if you need to know how many points you're supposed to do for each question, 2 things. You can look up my YouTube video here. I have multiple videos on speaking templates for CELPIP. They tell you exactly what kind of structure you should do for every type of question and how many points you should have there. Those are free on YouTube. If you'd like a more detailed version of all of this, you can also register for our course. Link for that is in the description. It gives you way more detail and way more complex sentences. I hope this helps, and if you do like this video, please subscribe. Talk to you soon. Take care.